everyone, hope you're all okay and having a good day. The 8th of June, it's rather a special day. Did you know that? I'm going to tell you a little bit about it in a minute, but first I'd like to show you something.
What can you see here? What do you think's happened? You might have seen pictures like this on the news. Plastic causing a big problem for our oceans and our beaches and our wildlife. It's a pretty sad picture, isn't it? However, this is not all doom and gloom. Today, it's World Oceans Day. A day to celebrate the coastlines and oceans of our world and look at their beauty. People like David Attenborough and many others are working hard to help our wildlife and our oceans, educating people, starting campaigns and giving us ideas of ways that we can help. But there are also many artists out there using their art to tell people all about this problem. Have a look at these. How do you think these have been created? What do you think this artist used? And what do you think about these? You're about to see an octopus. This was created by an artist called Angela Haseltine Pozzi. She is the founder of Washed Ashore, a community arts project using art to save the sea. What can you spot? What do you think he's made from? Imagine having the creativity and imagination to make something as amazing as these. What other creatures can you spot? What do you think they're made from? Just think, these were all made from rubbish, all found in the ocean. We're going to take our inspiration from her today. We're going to use art to help educate people in our area about World Oceans Day and looking after our oceans.
So what are we going to do to help? Well, we're going to follow their lead and we're going to use art.
I know lots of you took part in Draw with Rob and became record breakers, and I hope today is just as fun. We're not going to draw a whale, but we are going to draw some Franche fish. All you need is something to draw on, a pencil or a pen or anything you'd like to draw with. Oh, and a little bit of creativity. Go and get them, come back and we'll get started.
Right, so we're going to draw a simple fish, ready to look beautiful to show our support and our love of the oceans around the world. So the first thing that we're going to do is draw the top. You're going to draw like a curved shape, a little bit like a rainbow. So going from the front like this, all the way across. Okay, off you go. Okay, we're going to make it a little bit like a cartoon fish this time. So we go back to the beginning and you're going to do the opposite. You're going to curve underneath, but stop about halfway down your fish. So round about there. Okay. Okay. Now you're imagining that this part here is the mouth. So you're going to start again, just like this. Imagine this is coming right round like this. We're going to start from here and join it up to the top. And now for the bottom of the fish. So just like we talk about when those of you who've done art lessons with me, we often start by looking at just the main shape. So this is just the main shape of the fish. So you're going to bring your line from here all the way round as if it's the bottom of the fish. So here we go, all the way from here and up. Okay, so you can start to see your fish taking shape. Okay, now for the tail end of the fish. So we're going to do a bit of a wibbly line coming out here like this. So you're going to put your pen on the paper and take it for a walk, wibbly walk. Doesn't matter how wibbly you make it. Okay, Then around about halfway, because we're going to make our tail fins around about the same size, so we're going to bring this line here down to there. Okay, so again, take it for a walk. Nice wibbly wobbly walk. Okay, so there's the top one. Now we're going to do the one at the bottom in a very similar way. We're going to take our pen for a wibbly wobbly walk, and again from here, take it for a walk to meet it. Okay. So we've got the main shape of the fish. We're now going to give it some fins at the top and the bottom. Okay, so he's a bit of a funky fish. So we're going to give him a funky hairdo. So from the top, just above where the mouth is, we're going to take our pen up like this, and then that wibbly wobbly line I like to come back down. Look at that funky fin. Okay, and then again at the bottom, we're going to give him a roundabout opposite the one at the top, go underneath, and then use that wiggly line to bring it back to the body. Right, one more thing. We've got to do the fin with some gills. So this time we're looking at this section here. We're going to take our pen and do that sort of shape. So we go round and up to make it meet there. And then we're going to put the gills on so we know how that the fish can breathe. Going down like that. Okay, now because he's a cartoon fish, we're going to give him a cartoon eye. So from the side, you're going to make a greater than sign. So you're going to put your pen on the paper and imagine it's that crocodile. So this is our greater than sign if we were in maths. And you can decide where your fish is looking. I'm going to have mine looking straight ahead. He's looking for a smaller fish. There he is.
If you want to make it look a little bit more cartoon-like, you might want to add other bits and bobs. I'm going to add some eyelashes, but it's up to you if you add them. I'm going to pop some up the top there and then add a few more at the bottom, but it's up to you. Now we've concentrated on the main shapes. We've got the outline of our fish. Have a really good look at these. Have a look at closely at the detail. We want to see what sort of patterns we can see so we can add them to our fish. What do you notice?
So we're really focusing on shape and pattern today. Looking carefully at the fish's tail, I think I see some nice straight lines. See if you can draw your lines in on the top part of the tail and the bottom. Okay, now for the bit I've been looking forward to. Now it's time for our scale. They're made up of curved lines overlapping each other. Now it's up to you. You could just do little patches of scales, or you could decide to fill the fish with the scaly patterns. Okay. So you get started and come back in a minute. You might want to pause it here and decide how you're going to add scales to your fish. Off you go. So I decided to pretty much fill my fish with scales. You might have noticed that at the front of the fish, the scales get smaller and there's kind of less of them. So I made them less visible. I also noticed that on the fins, they were more striped as well. So I'm going to add that pattern to my fin at the top, and then the same at the bottom, and straight lines going down, and this one here as well. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is make sure our fish looks like he's underwater, so we're going to give him some bubbles. So the first thing you're going to do is they're going to be quite small as they pop out of his mouth, so make a small circle about here. Okay, and you're going to imagine that the light is coming from the surface of the water, so it's going to be the lightest at the top. You're going to colour very gently on one side up to the top, so that you get that glimmer of light at the top of the bubble. Now you're going to do another one, and it's going to get bigger this time. Okay, and again you're going to colour, keep that bubble of light at the top. Okay, and if you want to, you could do more going up towards the surface. Okay, now it's time to colour it in. If you've used pencil, you might want to leave it as it is. You might be happy with it as it is. If you've used a dark pencil, you could perhaps do some shading, pressing lightly so that you create a different tone. Or if you've used pen, you might just want to shade it in with a slightly different colour or a colouring pencil and see what happens.
Finally, if you'd still like one more challenge, if you'd like to add a little bit of depth to your drawing, you can press harder with your crayon to create a darker tone. So underneath the fish, where the sunlight is not going to reach, is going to be the darkest part of your fish. So if you press harder when you're colouring it in, then you can create that illusion of depth, that the fish is actually a 3D object. When you do the water around it, you might want to press harder to give that illusion that the water is rippling around the fish too, as you sketch. Entirely up to you how you finish it off. And if you're going to pop it in your window to share the beauty of the ocean and celebrate World Oceans Day, you might want to pop a little message on it. Look after our oceans, don't use single-use plastics, pick up after yourselves, whatever you would like to be your message for World Oceans Day. Now that we've had a go together, why don't you go and have a look at some of the other fish in the ocean? Have a look at the patterns and their colours, and let's use our art to remind people what a wonderful, diverse place the ocean can be if only we'd look after it. Experiment with tone, shape, colour and pattern to create as many Franche fishes in your ocean as you would like to. Let us know how you get on. Happy World Oceans Day!